Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So as you can see, I'm home. I'm home now for Christmas. So I've come to sit by my favourite tree. The camera so you can actually hear me. But yeah, I just thought I'd do like a little chatty video like I did a few months ago with some new topics that you guys have left me. I really enjoyed doing this video last time because I remember at that point in my life I had a lot of thoughts going on. And I do again, and obviously a lot's changed in my life since I filmed that video. So I've got some like updated questions. So one of the first things I got asked a lot, or like asked to talk about a lot, is seasonal blues or like seasonal depression, and how I've dealt with it this year. When it gets to winter, my mood automatically drops. And I'm not saying I have seasonal depression because I don't think I do, but I think my mood goes very low in winter. And I feel like a lot of people's do because it is just kind of a depressing month and a depressing season. Obviously it's not depressing to everyone, but to me it just seems it's just dark and it's cold, and you know, you start having those feelings. But my main piece of advice, which has kind of helped me in the past, is kind of like look at the positive sides of winter. Like with any season, like, try and look at the positive side of the season. That's what I try and do. Like I don't know, for example, going on like nice wintry walks, or like kind of romanticizing the cold weather, the coziness. That's like the main thing I do. I always romanticize like the coziness. And like finding routines to do. Like having like a set nighttime and daytime routine during winter just helps, especially because it gets dark so quickly. I'm just gonna have to excuse the wind. I'm trying to talk when the wind stops, but it just seems to be constantly windy right now. But I got a lot of responses saying that I need to talk about body image, and one specifically said, which was really interesting, this is one I've chosen, about like the second puberty and like how to deal with your body changing as you turn into an adult. And this is something I will be like completely like open and honest with you now. This is something I've been really struggling with recently, is my body not looking the same as it did at the beginning of this year. And I've kind of hit like, this is such TMI, but I feel like it needs to be talked about. You get through like a second puberty, like you get to like a second puberty during like your late teens, and I feel like it's not talked about enough. I've basically just turned into more of a woman. Like I've got more curves, and I've put on slightly more weight in like my face. And it was really difficult. It still is. Like, I feel like I can't just sugarcoat it and be like, oh, well, I'm changing, it's fine, because it has been really difficult for me. It happened when I was in America specifically because I was eating differently, and I feel like I just put on weight very quickly. I feel like it's important to just know that your body, like, it's a normal thing. Like, my body has just turned into a woman's body. I'm no longer a child. I'm no longer like a teenager. I'm kind of like a woman now. I'm transitioning into my womanhood, and there's nothing wrong with like a little bit of extra weight and a little bit of extra curviness. That's just like what being a woman is. But I do feel like people don't talk about like the second puberty enough, because it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, oh my god, I look like so different to how I did this year, and like how have I so drastically changed. But I think if you're struggling with your body image, just remember that no one sees you the way you see yourself. I feel like we are our own biggest critics in life, and I've been so hard on myself for putting on a bit of weight, and it's so stupid. Like, why? I don't understand why that's an issue, but in my brain it's really fucked me up. It keeps interrupting me. I've had to come to the conclusion that I'm not 17 anymore. Obviously my body's changed. It will continue to change as I get older, and no one's looking at you the way you're looking at yourself. Like when I tell my friends like, oh, I've put on so much weight, they're like, what? Like no one would have ever noticed. But I've noticed, and it's been a really big struggle, especially being at uni and spending so much time with myself. I've really like been reflecting on myself, and I've been like judging myself a disgusting amount. Like I don't think I've ever felt worse in my body than I do right now, and that's such a sad statement to say. Like when I said that out loud, I feel like that's the first time I've said that out loud. Like I just think these things in my head. I just want to say, like, if you are struggling with your body, you're not alone. I know that's so stupid to say, but you're not. I'm struggling with it right now. I know loads of people that are and continue to, and it's so fucked that we even have to think about our body. Like, I should be grateful that I have this body to live in. Like, I'm a healthy person. Why am I judging my body for just being just doing its job? Like, I need to eat, I need to nourish myself, and with that comes putting on a bit of weight, and with puberty comes putting on a bit of weight, and that shouldn't be something to be scared of or to judge ourselves for. It's so sad. Like, now I've said it out loud, I've literally had like a realization. I feel like I'm in a therapy session. At the end of the day, the body that we're judging is the same body that gets you up every day, takes you to do nice things, like allows you to see your friends and do your favorite hobbies and see your family, and also allows you to like feel the way you do. Like, bodies are amazing. I don't know why the fuck we judge our bodies that are just changing things. Someone replied with something really interesting that I actually want to talk about, which was girl pretty versus boy pretty. Oh, it's so fucking stupid. But I wanted to just talk about like the bigger picture of that. If you don't know what the girl pretty, boy pretty thing is, it's this random thing that's become a trend on TikTok where it's like, are you girl pretty or are you boy pretty? Which to me, I interpreted it in the way that, are you boy pretty, which is like the social norms of pretty, like the society's view on what beauty is. That's what boy pretty is. So for example, they use people like Madison Beer, like Wolfie Cindy, that's boy pretty. And then you have girl pretty. It doesn't make any sense. The way I'm describing this literally just sounds so stupid. Girl pretty is how women see other women as pretty, if that makes sense. I want to talk about the bigger topic of like TikTok trends and how it just makes specifically young girls and women just insecure. Like, what is with that? What is with that trend? Like, obviously girl pretty, boy pretty, it's a very harmless thing. But if you say to someone, oh, you're girl pretty, and then they see what boy pretty is, and it's people like Madison Beer and these like gorgeous, beautiful women, how is that going to make that person feel? I think it's just another TikTok trend to bring other women down, to be honest. That's my like very blunt answer. In my opinion, I don't think there's any such thing as girl pretty and boy pretty. I think every single person is beautiful to someone. I don't think there's any such thing as girl pretty and boy pretty, and I just think it's another stupid TikTok trend to make us feel insecure. And that moves me on to my next topic, which I've got written down, which is just like TikTok trends in general, because it's been driving me insane. I've got written down, I saw one in particular, have you seen like the bug-eyed trend? I don't know who I'm talking to, like you can answer me. There's a filter on TikTok which makes your eyes smaller, and then they like take off the filter and they have these like beautiful, gorgeous like blue eyes, and all the comments are like, oh my god, like you've got such beautiful bug eyes. There's always something, like small eyes are just as beautiful as the bigger eyes. Like, I don't understand why that's a thing. It's just such a like weird thing. There was also one where the filter made your nose bigger, and then like you took it off and it made it smaller, and I just thought, that's some fucking bullshit. I'm sorry, that's some bullshit if I've ever seen it. TikTok is getting just too much for me. I feel like I need to like have a detox. I have got a question about like social media detoxes, which I'll talk about later, but yeah, TikTok's constantly pushing this ideology on people that they have to look a certain way to be beautiful. There's another thing that like I never ever thought about until it was a TikTok trend, which is whether you have a symmetrical face. Like, what the fuck? Literally, what the fuck? There's a TikTok filter that you like put your, I don't know how it does it, but like takes one side of your face and makes it the same as the other to test if you have a perfectly symmetrical face. Who the fuck has a perfectly symmetrical face? And if you do, good on you, but why that right? I'm literally going off on a tangent in this video, but why is it a TikTok trend to have a symmetrical face? Like, I've now realised that I don't have a symmetrical face because of TikTok. I don't think I've ever looked at my face and thought, oh my god, I'm so unsymmetrical, until TikTok. Which brings me on to my next thing, which I did talk about in my last video, but everything's changed since my last video I filmed, which is just like social media and screen time in general. And in my last video, I'll share something with you all. If you did watch the last video, I said in it that I hadn't been on my phone a lot. I used to just find myself tapping through people's stories, and it made me so anxious that I just stopped going on my phone, like cold turkey. Like, I've completely changed now. My screen time is back to an all-time high, and I really want to change that. So back then, I was actually going through a breakup. So the real reason, this is so funny to share, the real reason I wasn't on my phone is because I was so scared to see what my ex was up to, basically, which we've all been there. So I just wouldn't go on my phone, I wouldn't go on Instagram, because I was so terrified to see something that would remind me of the heartbreak, or like, my whole For You page at the time was like people being heartbroken, and I was like, I just can't see that, I just need to focus on myself. So that's a piece of advice I'd have to anyone going through a breakup. Really try and have like a phone detox, because that really helped me with my healing. With my like breakup in general, that really helped. But I really want to get back to that mindset that I had back then. Not the anxiety, but just not going on my phone. But yeah, I really want to cut back on screen time again because I was doing so well back then. I wasn't because of the breakup, but not having my phone around me and on me all the time was really, really nice. Like, it was really nice. And I felt so much better about myself. Like, I didn't have TikTok telling me that my face was fucking unsymmetrical. Anyway, someone asked me for my best relationship advice ever. The only thing I've got is don't change for anyone. Try not to lose yourself in a relationship, because I feel like a lot of people do, especially when you're in like a relationship when you're very young. You kind of want... She keeps interrupting. What do you want to say? Just trying to speak to you all. If you're in a young relationship, it's very easy to put all your energy into that one person and to slightly lose yourself. And it is a very natural thing to do. When you love someone, you do want to give all of your energy into that person. That's very natural. But yeah, my biggest advice is, I've got 2 pieces of advice actually. Keep your friends close. I just ate my hair. Keep your friends close and your family close, because you never know what can happen. You always need your friends in your life. Like, friends over any relationship, honestly. Obviously, relationships are important too, but friends are so important because they'll always be there. Relationships won't always be there. That's a bit depressing, but you know what I mean. My second piece of advice is to really try and stay connected to yourself. Definitely keep your friends close. I don't know like what I would do without my friends. I genuinely, like, the most important people in my life is my friends. Someone asked me how to get over a situationship / thoughts on situationships. Situationships are a load of bullshit, in my opinion. You're basically in a relationship. If you have to have a ship at the end of the word, why is it a situation? Like, I don't get it. Why is it a situationship and why is it just not a relationship? I think situationships are just for like, if you don't want full commitment, which is fine. I don't think they're the worst things in the world. Like, if you're in a phase in your life where you don't want a commitment, a little situationship can be nice. But I do think more times than not, it turns into more, and then it gets complicated. Mark really wants to talk to you guys. What much I have to say? In terms of getting over situationships, I think it's exactly the same as a normal breakup. Treat it like a normal breakup. Don't let anyone invalidate your feelings throughout a situationship breakup, because just because you weren't in an actual relationship doesn't mean the hurt's any less. So treat it like a normal breakup. Really look after yourself. Definitely don't let people try and tell you that it's less than what it was. Okay, the last thing I'm going to talk about, because I feel like I have waffled, is overthinking. I think if there was an award for overthinking, I would win, because I'm the biggest overthinker probably ever. I feel like the only tips I have for overthinking is to get a journal. Get a journal and speak to people about what you're thinking. Maybe try and like rationalise. What I like to do when I'm overthinking someone is call up my friend Leisha. She does the same for me. Or talk to her and be like, am I overthinking this situation? And I'll tell her what's going on, and then we'll both validate each other's feelings. I don't know how to explain it. We'll both kind of talk each other down from how we're feeling, because I overthink like really small things. I always think people are angry at me, and that I hate that feeling. I hate when I think someone's angry at me. I always think people are angry at me. I always think people don't like me. And yeah, I'm just a big overthinker in general. So journaling has really helped. I never really did it until this year. I did used to have a diary when I was younger, literally maybe when I was like 10, but it was just stupid shit like, this is the person I have a crush on this week, this is the drama that's happened in year 5 this week, like that kind of shit. But this year I have properly started writing in a journal, especially in summer. I did it every day of summer, and it really got what I was thinking out on paper. And once I got it out on paper, I didn't really overthink it as much, because I thought, that sounds so fucking stupid. And also speaking it out loud to someone also kind of doesn't make you realise that you're like stupid for overthinking, but it makes you realise that it's not as big of an issue as you may think it is in your head. That's where I'm going to end today's video. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope I haven't waffled too much. I hope at least one person's found anything I've said useful. So I hope you're having a great day or night, whatever time it is, where you are, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!